Okay, welcome. We're going to go over Monday's tune, which is a fantastic Swedish tune called Schottis fran Idre. And the first thing we need to do is to go over a D major arpeggio, because this is going to give us the basis, certainly of the A music of our tune. So your D arpeggio is going to start on a D, predictably, up to an F sharp, an A, and a top D. And I'd have a little play with that. I like putting a rhythm on each note. Or doing what I would call zigzags. But to really get used to moving from one note to another. Once you've done that, the opening statement of our tune is just a straight arpeggio but with a rhythm on it, like this. So the F sharp and A are a little bit faster than the bottom and the top D. And for any fiddle players, I'd suggest practicing with 2 up bows at the end. And also with the bowing just bowed out. So that even at this early stage you're experimenting with different bowing patterns and making sure that you're comfortable with both. So your opening phrase, it's that pattern twice. And that's it. That actually gives you half of the A music. So we're going to call that our opening phrase and give that a play, and we'll do the next phrase in just a moment. Okay, so we're now into our second phrase of the A music, and this also uses an arpeggio shape, a triad shape of A major, which is going to be A, C sharp and E, but in reverse, so E, C sharp, A. Give that a play. E, C sharp. And before that, starting on the E, you have a little movement up and back down, so you have E, F sharp, and then the triad E, C sharp, A. Okay, so. And from that A, you're going to move up the scale and all the way down to the bottom D. So the second phrase in 2 parts, with the triad and then the scale. And that bottom D is actually the first note of our opening statement again. So our second phrase all together. Give that a few plays. That is going to come back at the end with a slight difference in the final little bit of it. So your first answering phrase. And at the very end, it starts out the same. But from here, instead of going down the scale, you're going to go from the D up to an E, down to a C sharp, and back to the D. And that's our second answering phrase. So, to put all of that together, you have your opening statement. Your first answering phrase. Second opening phrase. And then your second answering phrase. So the structure of it, you have kind of phrase 1, phrase 2, phrase 1, phrase 2 with a little change at the end. So I'm going to play through that A section a few times. What I like to get my group to do is to pick out one of those phrases to play and just drop in every time it comes in, and then try it again, do a different phrase, or maybe play a couple of times and listen a couple of times to check that you've got it. But yeah, try a few different things and see what works for you. So here is the A music. I'll try and play it around 4 times if I can count that far. And that's the A part. Obviously it would just normally be played twice. I did it 4 times so that you could play along, and I varied the bowing all the way through because I think that you should try different things right from the beginning of learning a tune. Get used to playing it in as many different ways as you feel comfortable with. That's the A part. Back in a moment with the B part. Okay, so we talked about the structure of our A section, having the statement, answer, statement, slightly different answer. Our B section is going to have that same structure to it. So essentially you've got kind of 2 musical ideas to get your fingers around. The first one is going to be a scale down from the top A down to an E. So you've got the A, G, F sharp and E. So I'll try that a few times. And again, you can put a few little variations in, perhaps, or turn. You can try a few different things. That is going to be your statement phrase of the B section. Now with the answering phrase, this is where it gets a little bit quirky, and it's one of the reasons I really like this tune, that suddenly we dive into D minor instead of D major. So instead of having F sharps, you're going to have F naturals. And your answering phrase is going to, the first answering phrase, in fact both of them, will start on an F natural. So you're going to start and finish on that F natural. And then carry down the scale from an E to a C sharp. So you're walking up and down the scale with the E, D, C sharp there. So we have then scale and an A to finish. So I'm going to put those 2 together. You could, if you're a fiddle player, you can use your 4th finger or an open string. And that's your first answering phrase. So we've had the scale down for the statement, and then the D minor answering phrase, I quite like doing a little flick or a little cut on that C sharp. From there you have your opening statement again. And the second answer starts out the same, and then just C sharp D at the end. So second answering phrase, and that's the whole of the B section. So to put that in context, you've got your opening phrase, first answer. Second opening phrase. Second answering phrase with a variation. So to put that in context, I'm going to play just the B round 4 times. Again, try dropping it in and out, try playing and then stopping and listening, and just have an experiment. Again, I'm going to play it around 4 times. And on the last note, if you want to try copying that ornament, it's, I guess you could call it a lower mordant if you know about classical ornaments, but it's going, instead of just hitting the D, you're going D, C sharp, D. It's quite a nice one. I'm not going to suggest that any of the bowings or ornaments I put in are particularly Swedish. This is a tune that I know from English sessions. I think it's been borrowed, as so often happens with these tunes. So I'm going to play around the tune. I'm going to do it twice at a steady speed, and then I'll do a separate video with an arrangement and some more repetition. So here we go.